Morning. Welcome to Mitchie's Motivational Monday. Try to get out here a little early this morning, beat the wind, because I know it's coming. It's a little breezy, but not too bad. How is everyone doing today? I hope you guys are having a good morning so far. I hope you woke up refreshed and woke up with that energy of, you know what? Thank you. I have another day. I was able to wake up this morning. I was blessed with this opportunity today to do something different, to do something better. And, with that being said, I kind of did. I woke up this morning refreshed and saying, you know what? It's a new day. It's a new start. Every day is a new beginning. So today I wanted to talk about foundations. And, it's kind of a metaphoric conversation we're going to have today, and I hope you all understand it. But so let's talk about foundations. Let's talk about, from a building perspective, we build foundations in the ground, right? We build our houses on a solid foundation. And some people build that foundation on sand and some build it on rock. When you build a foundation on rock, I think is a stronger foundation than building it on sand. And it'll last the test of time. But when you build that foundation on sand, what happens is over time, the mistakes we make in life, the mistakes we make while continuing to build that house over our years, with our friends, be it friendship, be it marriage, whatever it is, when we build it on sand and mistakes we make along the way, they kind of undermine that sand from underneath the foundation. And what can happen is if you don't fix that, the fact that the sand is kind of washing away from underneath creates little fissures in the foundation, in that concrete. And if you don't patch those, if you don't have the discussions that you need to have along the way while you're building this home, while you're building this house, while you're building this relationship, and something bothers you and you don't talk about it, that crack gets a little bit bigger. And over time, if you never patch the cracks in the foundation, it weakens the structure. And there's a lot to be said about that. When you don't patch the cracks, they get bigger. And most of us start out our lives, and we start out our relationships, with our partner. We're young, and we're inexperienced, and we don't really know how to maintain a proper foundation, how to build a solid relationship on a good foundation. And I think what happens is over time, because we don't do that, the erosion of the foundation can really affect how long that house is going to stand. And so with that being said, I just want to say that, take the time to patch the little fissures in that foundation, to have the conversations with your spouse, to have those talks about what it might be that's bothering you, or what it might be that you did that affected that foundation. And when you have those talks and you actually resolve it, and together you're patching those little fissures in the foundation so they don't become bigger, they don't become larger. And in my opinion, that will help, make that house stand the test of time. So, just a little bit of advice, a little bit of wisdom. Sadly, this wisdom that we gain as we get older isn't there when we're younger. And all those mistakes, all those circumstances that happen when we're younger help give us that wisdom. They teach us this wisdom that we get. And sometimes it might be too late for where you were, but it's not too late for where you're going. And so, just kind of keep that in mind. And if you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, if you're in a friendship, and that fissure has gotten big, take the time and see if you can evacuate or excavate the earth around that home and patch that up together. um and the thing is that house might not stand the test of time, but you still have all of those wonderful memories and all of those things. Just like when you move, you move from one home to another, and that home that you left still has all those wonderful memories in it. So hold on to those. Hold on to those. Cherish those good memories, and don't dwell on the bad ones. There's no sense in it. Um, and like I said, this can pertain to friendships as well. Sometimes those friendships aren't really built on solid ground. There's agendas behind that friendship, or there's just not that real connection that you have with that friendship. um and with that sometimes comes pain, and but we're all meant to go through that. We're all meant to go through the fire at one point or another in our lives. And what you can do about it is simply grow. It's the best thing you can do. So enough about that. Today I'm going to go back to the veterans house in Pekin here, and I'm going to do some more work on that bathroom, put some finish coat on the mud, and get this bathroom going for them, right? So last week it was kind of amazing. I've kind of been in this like almost emotional purgatory since I've been here. Not really sure, kind of like in shock. I mean, I'm going through a lot of changes. I'm going through a lot of life change all at one time. And it's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to take on. And, sometimes you go into this it's almost like a state of shock. And you need to give yourself time to heal. I needed to give myself time to heal. And it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. But anyways, last week I went and I started working on that bathroom again. I hung the drywall. I got the mud going. And the first day I was there, I hung the board and everything, and I'm like, okay, that's it for today. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll start taping. So I left, and I stopped at McDonald's of all places, right, to get a soda and a hamburger. I hadn't eaten yet that day. I go up to the window to pay, and the guy says, well, your meal's been paid for by the person 2 cars in front of you. And I'm just like, wow, that's kind of cool, right? So then I get home, and there was a situation that arose financially, and I had to take care of that. So, it took everything I had basically to take care of that financial situation. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to see what happens next, And it wasn't long after that, I got a phone call, and the guy a contractor that I spoke with a couple of weeks ago, said, hey, can you start Tuesday? I got some work for you. I got a job that you can go do. And I'm like, heck yes, So it was just one thing after another. And I stopped and I thought about this, and I'm like, when you do the right thing, and I put a tweet out, I said, when you do the right thing, when you do what you're supposed to do, and you do it with a selfless mentality, you don't do it for yourself, but you do it because it needs to be done, whether it's for you, whether it's for someone else. More often than not, it's for someone else. And when you take care of that, when you do that, everything comes back. Everything is okay. Like, I put out pretty much the last of what I was holding on to get by. And, that subconscious stress of like, oh, how am I going to make it, is there. And then all of a sudden, the blessing comes, and here you go. There's how you're going to make it. And you're like, wow, okay. So the moral of that is never be afraid to let go of something that you might need to do something for someone else simply because you're worried about how you're going to make it, because they're already worried about how they're going to make it. So when you do that for them, when you do that act and you sacrifice, it comes back to you. It just does. So that's my message for today, guys. You know, I hope you find a little bit of refreshment in it. And, you know, these farmers out here, these guys are awesome. A couple of them have stopped by and said hello and welcomed me to the neighborhood. And it's been pretty awesome out here. And, you know, I got the fortress behind me, the other side of the backdrop that you typically see when you're watching Clint Westwood's videos. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you wake up recharged. I hope you wake up ready to take it on, head on, and build those foundations on solid ground. Build those foundations and keep them maintained to stand the test of time. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. I love you all. Have a great day, and always hold on to faith. Peace.